nowadays you get caught by your cell phone.
Right.
Because people don't realize your cell phone
Pinging off
is
the towers.
always pinging off the towers.
Right.
Even when it's off, it's hitting the towers. So you say you say you were in Lynbrook. Well, your cell phone has you in Massapequa.
Right.
So, and also just like everything is on camera now.
Yes.
Like if you're just like, oh, I couldn't have been because at that time,
License plates.
I was at the movies, and it was just like, all right, well, just let us know what movie you're at. We'll make sure that it was at that time. And
on some street, there's some camera.
We'll talk to the theater, and if you show up on the security camera, then fine, we cleared you as a suspect.
Right.
And it's like, oh, and also your cell phone is pinging at the cell tower closest to the victim's house.
Well, it's also, and that's how Aaron Hernandez got caught, because he was literally on fucking camera next to where the guy's body was dumped, and his cell phone went off. But, and I'm sorry to bring it up again, but that's why everybody thinks that the Long Island serial killer is being protected, because, like, you have so many of those victims, and then you have, their cell phones going off of towers, and then they were using Craigslist. There was the Craigslist killer in Boston. I forget his name, Philip Markoff or something like that. He got caught in a day. So anyway, I just find that fascinating, because especially, again, you're leaving, semen and other things, and then you're so careless to drink a beer. Yeah, and then discard it.
Well, yeah, no one was thinking of DNA in the 70s. Like, even like with O.J. Simpson in 1994, it was like a pretty, like, O.J. Simpson even was the first time that they really used DNA evidence to try to get someone in murder.
Did they have his DNA or no?
All right. So here's the thing, because in 1994, I guess it was. It was still relatively new. They couldn't confirm 100% for a fact that it was O.J. Simpson's DNA.
They could now.
Maybe they could. I don't know.
If they still have it.
Oh, hold on. All right, I'll go into it. They couldn't confirm for a fact, but they could pin it down that there was like a 1 in a something million chance that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But they couldn't say 100% that was for him. But also, apparently it was something like the police officer gave the forensic guy the file of DNA at the crime scene, which apparently is like a big, you don't do that. And like, if defense used that as a case of,
and then
just
Rob
like
Kardashian took evidence. Like, it was a whole clusterfuck.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened, but my point is, like, even in 1994, they weren't thinking about it.
Well, not only were they not thinking of things like DNA because it didn't exist, but even just the fact that one of the investigators who was working closely with Michelle on the book points out that in the 70s and the time that these crimes are going on, they didn't even have real case law written up for sexual assault.
Right.
Rape was something, she said, like 30 to 90 days in jail. And then even when they go back and they show that film, I guess from the 70s, which is supposed to be, for women to protect themselves, it is the most wildly sexist.
Yes, that's one of like the most interesting parts of the documentary.
Yeah.
When they're basically how to not get raped
Yeah.
for women, and is just like the single working woman is the biggest target, and is just like, what did this woman do wrong? And it's like,
she's walking down the street.
Like, she was walking down the street. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What did she do wrong? And it was just like the most wildly ridiculous, like 1977 shit of all time.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And I'm not like one of these like, hyper, like my thing is like honesty, as much as you can. And I think there's a lot of like virtue signaling that goes on the left from men. From like
100%.
phony progressives that are trying to get fucking brownie points. But so let me be clear. I'm not one of those people, but my point is, like, this is something that is obviously still pervasive. just in like modern times with the New York Mets today, another scandal coming out about their former manager. This is now in the same month. Their general manager and their former manager, Mickey Callaway, both have sexual assault things going on, or sexual impropriety things, where they're, this is not like their personal life, doing something, and that would be wrong if you're doing this to anybody, but within their own workplace, like sending sexual messages to reporters. Like, so my point is,
I don't know much about the Mets case. It was a reporter.
Well, all right. So the general manager remember the last time we were here, we were talking about it. The general manager of the New York Mets, he just got hired. He got fired because something came out that he sent dick pics, amongst other things, 62 unanswered messages to a foreign female reporter. So it came out, they fired him.
It was 62 messages, and then he thought, she didn't answer 62 times, let me step my game up.
It'll work? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So that happened. Then today, another report by The Athletic comes out about Mickey Callaway. He was the Mets manager for 18 and 19. Like 5 different women, but they're professionals. And again, you shouldn't do it to anybody. I don't care who the fuck they are. But the point is, to be that brazen in 2018, what the fuck was it like in 1977?
Yeah.
And then when you see the actual police, don't get raped video, it's just like, oh, don't walk down the street suggestively. Like, by the way, what does that even mean?
Right.
So it's, dude, I seriously, man, like, and again, there's no way to say this without sounding like a fucking fake, like, progressive, like, brownie points, but
no,
women have it so hard, dude.
Yeah.
Like especially back then, it's like, I mean, I just really get like, I got upset, like really upset, because it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you?
One of the craziest things also was that if they didn't, like, let's say the East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker, let's just say they were 2 different people.
Yeah.
And let's say that Joseph James D'Angelo, as the East Area Rapist, didn't gun down 2 people in the street. If it was just the 50 rapes, then he could have just came out and said it was me because the statute of limitation was up. The fact that
they have to get rid of that law.
The fact that there's a statute of limitation where you can commit 50 rapes in the late 70s and then in 2018 just come forward and say, this was all me.
There shouldn't be a statute of limitations for 1 rape.
No. No. Of course.
And again, like,
but back then it was treated as punching someone in the face.
Right.
It was treated as an assault.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was treating the same as if you were to beat someone up.